Cousin Harry's father was
miserable.
miserable.
And that's why Harry joined the army so young, to get away from his father.
But it must have been, a topic of conversation in the family that both she and Aunt Becky married Gentiles. That was pretty unusual in those
Yeah.
days. We're talking about what, 1925 or something like that? 1920 maybe?
Well, with Aunt Becky, I said to her one day, "How come you married Uncle Andy?" Uncle Andy
He was a nice
actually
guy.
was well educated, and she said at that time there was a daughter that was killed in an accident, a young girl. The family was so broken up that my mother used to use her middle room for her sewing room. But Anne and I moved into that room. And
And who moved into your room? You got out of your room and moved into the middle room.
Grandmom and Grandpa.
Grandma and Grandpa Shaw.
Yeah. It was a terrible time.
And what was your aunt's name who was killed? Was it Yetta?
Yeah.
And Henny was named after her? For
Yeah.
her?
Yeah.
Who was pregnant?
Oh, and Anne.
Aunt Anne, okay.
And only she didn't know.
Oh, so they didn't tell her?
They didn't tell her.
They didn't want to,
Well, when she finally found out, she screamed so that they heard her, I think, for 2 blocks away.
oh God.
She was so...
She was only about this big. I'm Steve, and I'm with my mother Gert, and we're discussing some of the things from her past that are very interesting for posterity. First, I want to ask you, Mom, when Charles and I were young, and you and Dad were younger, what was your favorite thing that you liked to do with us on a weekend?
We would go on a boardwalk in Atlantic City. The boardwalk was the place where everybody met. And we would go on the boardwalk, and you two, a little, I would say to you, I want you to be good and not run all over the boardwalk. And remember, I've got eyes all over my head. And no matter what you do, I see it.
And did we listen?
Yeah,
Yeah?
because it was Sunday, and Grandpa closed the store.
Grandpa Goldstein?
Yeah, a little earlier.
Did he come on the boardwalk too with
Yeah.
Grandma?
Yeah.
And how about Grandma and Grandpa Kramer? Did they come too?
Oh yeah, they were. That was Atlantic City, where people met on the boardwalk.
And how did they dress?
Oh, they dressed nice.
Mm-hmm.
If it was Sunday, they dressed very nice.
Uh-huh.
And my mother, when it came to clothes, she knew clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And although she was on the heavy side, she didn't stick out. She always wore a girdle, and she always looked just so.
You had bought some stock, and Grandma Goldstein said she would like to buy some stock.
Yeah.
So what did you tell her?
You could make money or you could lose money on it. And I don't know if you're in a position to lose money. So she got mad at me. What's the matter? You want to make money, but you don't want me to make money? I said, it's nothing like that. I said, we're taking a chance, and if we happen to lose, it won't be that bad because there won't be that much money anyhow. And anyhow, she was mad at me.
Mom, we lived on Hanover Avenue for, I think, about 11 or 12 years. What made you decide to buy a new home when a lot of other people with similar homes were turning their garages into a recreation room and not moving?
We had spent a lot of money on in the house, putting in a new bathroom.
Yeah.
And I figured we already spent, we really didn't have that much money.
Well, certainly it would have been cheaper to spend some money on the garage than it would be to buy a new house that was much more expensive. So how did you work that out?
We worked it out because we would have a powder room. It was a new house. I said, if we buy stock,
Make an investment in a new house.
yeah,
Oh, well, it turned out to be a good investment. What was it like? What did you do after you graduated high school? Had you met Dad already? And if you, and I know you wanted to make some money after you graduated from high school. So what happened? You must have gone to work for Grandpa probably, or work somewhere.
yeah, I did work in that store.
Uh-huh.
I worked in the store and then I worked at home.
What'd you do at home?
I helped my mother. She had a house.
Yeah.
Well, the house was big.
Was Grandpa wasn't open 7 days a week, I'm sure.
Yes, he was.
He was open, he worked 7 days a week?
He worked hard. I remember I was on a debating team.
Yeah. 4 different teams?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they all voted for me because I was good at debating.
Uh-huh.
I always won the debate.
You did. Good for you. Did you have to talk Grandpa Arnold, or my dad, into moving to Florida, or was that his idea?
No, I talked him into it.
What did he want to do? Did he know what he wanted to do?
Well, he knew that he was working. Florida was not in his vocabulary. And
It was someplace where his father went. You guys started going to Florida for, I think, a few months before Dad retired. I guess he must have been in his early 60s, or maybe 63, 64, because I think he retired when he was 65, probably, because that's when you could collect Social Security, and he'd worked a long time, and his health wasn't so great.
yeah,
So even though the business wasn't terrific, still you guys lived fairly modestly, and you had enough. And the stock market had been good for people who had money to invest in it in those days. Milt Green was a great salesman from
Yeah.
Margate, Atlantic City, and he was down there selling apartments in Aventura. And you and some of your friends bought apartments. Was Milt Green the one who sort of lit a fire under you guys and convinced you that you ought to buy then, which turned out to be a good idea?
he spoke to everybody that he knew
Uh-huh.
to
He was a
buy.
real salesman.
Yeah.
A
To
bit
buy.
larger than life character.
And I think that's one of the reasons we bought there.
Uh-huh. Well, that turned out to be, I'd say, a lifesaver for Dad. He really loved being in Florida. I do remember when Mom and Dad went down to Florida every year. They would pile all the stuff into the car, except for the front seat, and take it down. And then evidently, I guess you'd bring a lot of stuff back every year. Like,
Yeah, we did that for a while, and then we decided to live there permanently.
right. Uh huh.